But yeah, I think schools, they're a bit sort of like I say, it's sort of like going to work early. You with me? And I think it's kind of like cruel, splitting their young children from their parents.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too young personally.
Yeah,
You know,
see what I mean?
Yeah, I think.
And I think it does a lot of damage, you see, to children, honestly. You know, and like I say, I mean, me being separated from my children, right, it's done a lot of damage to me because it's, you know, angered me. But I think it's done a lot of damage to them because they've not had my magic anymore, my magic touch, you know. And it kind of angers me both ways, where the government are kind of like, I mean, even before my divorce, really, I had to sort of send them to school, take them to school, and I knew that I didn't like schools personally. Like I've said, I used to be locked up in a cupboard in my first 2 years. So I'm taking my children into school, thinking, are they going to be locked up today? Do you know what I mean? Or are they going to have a good teacher or a bad teacher? Do you know what I mean? And I just find schools, they're not getting paid for their duties, children. If you see what I mean. I didn't get paid at school, and it's one thing I didn't really like is being pulled away from my family to go into a classroom of children I didn't really know and mix in with them, you know. I say all the children, they come from all walks of life, and those children are gonna basically teach them, you know, as you sort of go through year by year, you're gonna learn about them, you know, a lot about children learn from each other.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Like I can't explain it, but they do.
They do, yeah.
You know, and if one child is watching a horror film,
it's funny. Even the other day, I sat down with my daughter. And she's only 5, but I sat there and I said to her, no, she hasn't been naughty. She hasn't done anything. I haven't had any reports of anything at all. They've all said to me she's wonderful and she's delightful and etc. You know, because she's literally just started school. She's in year R, reception. But yeah, the teacher just said, you know, that I said to her the other day, I said, listen, if you're in your classroom and your friends are doing something naughty, you don't do it as well. Yeah. And she was, obviously she's only 5, but she can understand what I'm saying because of how I broke it down to her. So to her, you know, if they're doing something naughty, you don't do that, and you do, you know, you make sure you do what is good and what is right. And she kind of looked at me and nodded and, you know, smiled and, yes, Daddy, you know, she understood, you know. So even that from a young age, you've got to be teaching them from a young age, like, not to follow the crowd, not to, you know, just because your friends might be doing something wrong and something naughty doesn't mean that it's permissible for you to do it, and it's okay for you to do it, if you see what I mean, you know. You don't have to, you know. She understood.
So like children need all children need philosophy, you know.
Yeah.
I think.
Right.
Like, so I've only just started learning about philosophy, and I've said previously it is sort of like the love of wisdom.
Yeah.
And you know, now I know about philosophy a little bit more than I did when I was married. I think like if I knew what I did now when I was married, I would probably save my marriage. See what I mean? Or if I was taught philosophy at school by a philosophy teacher, I would have just had much better life than I've got today, and I would have been far more intelligent today.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest with you, when my children were younger, I used to sort of like draw with them, tell them fairy tale stories, open up their imagination. Yeah, that's good. That's what every parent should do a little bit. But I never taught them philosophy because I didn't really know much about it. You know, I've only just studied it the last 10 years or so. You know, especially the last 2 years. You know, and starting understanding exactly what philosophy really is. So I think like if you had a really good philosophy teacher at school, like say a teacher, don't matter if they're English or whatever, if they've got no philosophy, they could be a dangerous teacher. They could lock you up in cupboards and all sorts. You know. So if you had a philosophy teacher, a proper philosophy teacher that knew how to teach children philosophy, crime would go down. Crime rate would go right down. Bullying would go down.
Yeah, it's true.
We'd understand life a lot. You know, it's all about understanding life. You know, and a lot of people out there, like an episode we did previously about kindness, people don't know what kindness is. A lot of people. That's what I think. And And this is where the problem is, you know, a lot of people do not know what love is. You know, and I think like if philosophy was taught to children at an early age, which it isn't, I don't think, and it could be quite easily by a wise philosopher, teach children how to be kind, what kindness is.
Yeah.
And every child will start learning how to be kind, but they're not being taught at school. In a kind of way, they're being sort of brainwashed with a lot of other stuff, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like say they're trying, you know, the government, I feel, is trying to sort of like put so much rubbish out there to confuse people in a kind of way, not so they can't have time to think, if you sort of mean.
Yeah.
Get them working, keep them
distracted.
Yeah, if you sort of mean, keep them busy, if you sort of mean. You know, when you think about it, when working, sort of like most people work quite a few weeks every year, don't they?
Yeah. You get some people that might only get like 2 or 3 weeks of holiday a year.
And you get like a few days where you just celebrate now and again.
Yeah.
And look forward to. I'd say some people have got quite nasty jobs and they've done it all their lives.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Yeah. Then you retire and you look back in your past and all you can remember is your job.
Yeah.
What you did. You know, so your job is very important. You know what you do.
Yeah.
And if you're happy in your job, if you sort of mean, it's no good being unhappy in your job. No good. No good. You got to be happy with what you're doing in life. Like I say, a lot of people are out there going out doing whatever they need to do, but they don't really like doing it, right? But they do it because they get the payback at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's what I think the reality out there is in a kind of way. Like a lot of people getting tired, depriving themselves of sleep. You know, and another thing is cleanliness. You know, sort of keeping yourself clean. That will keep you happy. If you sort of mean. All those important things, keeping yourself clean, keeping your tummy happy, you know, with good food and good drink. Sleep, you know, and you know, not having too much sleep, not having too less, if you sort of mean. You got to have a good sleep. And have you had a peaceful day, or is your day being noisy? That's another one. Do you know what I mean? I think there's lots of different elements, you know, to
that contribute.
Being happy.
Yeah.
You know, don't get jealous of anyone because you're alive. Be happy with
what you've got.
Well, you've got legs. You know, you can walk. You can see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people can't see. You know, and I say people forget, and you know, people need reminding of. You know, just appreciate being alive. You know, some people don't look very good, you know, because they've got health conditions and they might look too fat and things. But just appreciate that you're still alive today. You know, that's what I think anyway, you know. Because I mean, a hippo, he's got to be happy, ain't he? With whatever he looks like. A snake's got to be happy. What's that? Oh, it's alright.
Yeah.
It's my clock.
Yeah.
I bought this clock. It's got these birds on it. It makes a different noise every hour.
Yeah.
Like a cuckoo or a blackbird or an owl.
All of a sudden it makes a random noise.
I bought it from my mum.
You're thinking, what the hell's that?
I bought it from my mum for a present. You know, so.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I had a bird in my bath. Honestly, I thought I better go and get that bird out. I forgot I bought that clock.
Yeah.
But that's what I love, you know. I mean, I love Christmas because, you know, sort of like I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure.
Well, I like it too because even though, like, the good thing about it is, like, even though it's cold and it's rainy and all these kind of things this time of year, and you know the weather and stuff is not so nice and it's dark early and all that kind of thing, Christmas seems to bring that element of cheer and happiness to people.
Some people.
To some people. Well, for a lot of people, not for all people, of course, but for
not to unhappy
but
people.
For a lot of people, generally, Christmas does bring some kind of some element.
I think
of
you've got to
cheer
be happy
and happiness, you know. So I think that's one good thing about it, like especially in like I said, where it is, you know, cold and all these kind of things, and you know, it's not so nice, and you don't really want to venture out as much, and you know, it's very nice. You know, it's something to look forward to, something to, you know, yeah.
Well, I got my mum some nice presents.
Yeah.
Now my daughter. Now my daughter. It's quite loud, isn't it? Anyway, now my daughter's come last night. I've got to start thinking about her over Christmas, you know.
I guess you could give her some money, like you said.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, but I'm just sort of saying it's nice, you know. Just feel like my family's coming back a bit, if you see what I mean. And that's quite a nice feeling.
I think when you're grown up, mate, the best thing you could give someone really is just to give them money. You know, once they get to a certain age, it's like, you know, they know what they want, they know what they spend it on, or what they'd like to buy, or, you know, it's better just to give people money, you know. Not everyone, of course, because obviously sometimes the appreciation part of it is buying the actual gift, and, you know, for them to appreciate it, because, you know, it's something they really wanted, you know. And that's the whole, you know, fun in it, you know, the whole, you know, joy of it, you know. So, and also it's like the reactions as to, like, I can remember like being young and getting presents, and my mum like being like really happy with like my reaction, how shocked I was, and how kind of happy and ecstatic I was at whatever, you know, she might have bought me a new game or whatever it may be, you know. And now that I'm older and I'm a parent, you know, I've got a son and a daughter, you know, and it's like, it's kind of like the shoes on my foot now. Like, you know, come Christmas time, like most of the presents under the tree are for the kids, you know, from me and my wife, you know. So it's happy to see their reactions now, you know, to see, you know, to go, you know, to kind of experience that firsthand, and now firsthand again, but from a different perspective, if that makes sense. Firsthand as a child, and then firsthand now as a parent. It's quite fascinating, you know. It's like life really comes like full circle, like 360, you know. So yeah, it's wonderful, it's magical, you know. I love seeing my kids happy, and, you know, just, you know, both of them, like, you know. One of the things though that I do have to encourage my kids to though is that no matter how much presents you may have, like, when you open a present, like, make sure that you know, actually check it out, see what it is, and you know, sometimes kids are in such a hurry to like open the next thing, kind of thing. They might open something and think, oh, that's really cool, that's great, and then put it down and, oh, can I open the next one? It's like you haven't like even like looked at it or saw, you know, like.
I think it's good. I think it's just good to be intelligent about it all, you know, like with Christmas, you know, like with my children, I was just intelligent, you know. I like give them so many in the morning, you know. Save them some for you know, some in the afternoon.
That's the best. Yeah, it's the best thing to do.
Yeah, you just got to be intelligent, you know. Just got to be happy.
Yeah.
So I've had a difficult life. Like I said, my wife divorced me, and that made me very, very angry and unhappy. Yeah. You know, now I'm finding happiness again, you know, especially my daughter's come back now, you know what I mean? And I kind of understand happiness a little bit, and just be happy, because like I say, we're not here for long, are we? You know, a decade goes, it's like a week to me in a funny way, a decade. And I think people think they're going to be here forever, but we're not. You know, these stars and the moon and the sun, it's all temporary. It really is, if you sort of mean. Yeah. And every living being, or everything that you see in it in a kind of way, you know, or everything that you own, it's all going to disappear.
One day.
Well, you know, like I say, I don't think even 100 years is long.
No, it's not long.
Not long. No, you know, even 100 years is. I mean, how many people have lived?
Well, I was going to say, mate, now, and I'm only using you for an example because obviously you're my, you know, my best mate and who I know, you know, so you're a good example. But like, you're almost 60 now.
Yeah.
So, like, even you telling me like how fast it's gone, like, you know.
Well, yeah. Now I'm sort of
like,
thinking.
you know, you blink and before you know it, it's, you know, you're 50, and then, you know, it's, you know.
Yeah. Well, when I look back in my past, you know, like if I look at a memory when I was 7 years old, say, which I can, alright, I've got some memories of when I was 7 years old. It just seems like if I look at a memory, it's just like now. Happened now. Anyway, because memories are now. You know, I know it happened years ago, but memories are kind of like living now. They're not.
Because I feel like with aging, right? Like obviously your age as the time goes by, you know another year's gone by. You know you're another year older, but it's like to me that's like a physical thing. Like I think mentally, like tell me if I'm wrong, but mentally you still feel a certain age. Like you know, I think it's almost like you're don't get me wrong, you get more into you get wiser and more intellectually inclined and all these kind of things as you get older naturally, yes, but I feel like you tend to get more older physically than you do mentally. It's like sometimes
I feel like I'm 1,000 years old. Sometimes I do. Like I've lived so long. But sometimes I feel like I've only lived a minute.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. It's quite weird. Do you get that kind of thing? You know,
Yeah.
it's sort of like life is like one moment.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know, when you reach your last moment, you know, sort of like your life, your childhood lives within you. You got your memories in you. You got the whole tape recorder, and you know, do you know what I mean? You got all the recordings of everything inside you. You know, so your child is, you know, when is your childhood over when you can still remember it? If you see what I mean, you know.
Oh yeah.
How can your childhood be over when you can still remember it right now? If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So I mean, I personally celebrate, like tomorrow, I'm really excited about it. I can't explain it, you know, I just feel like I'm not going to be here forever, but you know, that's the attitude I want. I just want to I just want to put energy into the day.
Well, it's appreciation, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's appreciation and being grateful.
Do as much as you possibly can each day. You know, housework's got to be done. You've got to stand on your feet. You've got to exercise yourself, you know, every day.
Shit to do, yeah.
Like I say, you've got to balance your sleep out. There's so many things to do to be happy, if you see what I mean. Make sure you've got, you know, good food for the day. Get ahead with food. You know, I'm well ahead with food, that's for sure. You know, I know that I've got enough food here for at least another few weeks, you know what I mean, to keep me going, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Got coconut juice and everything, you know, stocked up.
That's good.
If you see what I mean.
It's good for you, mate.
So I keep ahead, you know, you've got to be a bit like a squirrel in life, you know, and get, you know, stock up a bit, you know, so you can
relax.
What I personally, you know, to give advice, you know, try to do as much as possible every day.
Yeah.
And then you can relax and maybe do a drawing or write a song. You know, you can do things that you love doing, you see, you know, but sometimes you got to work a bit, you know, to earn your relaxation bit, you know, or what you want to do, you know, and you're always moving forward a little bit, you know. It's like if I wanted to get, you know, good at ice skating, I'd have to get up tomorrow morning and find an ice rink, you know, move close to it probably, and start, you know, teaching myself every day, you know, and it's not going to take a week to learn, you know it's going to take a few years, if you see what I mean, before you can get good at it, so good that you're confident that you know that you can do it, if you see what I mean. You know, and that's what life's all about, really, getting confident, isn't it, that you kind of know. It's like, for instance, say you had to get to London from, say, Manchester, right? But you didn't know to do it, kind of thing, you know, because you've never done it before. But you did it, and but next time you do, you get a bit confident. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because you're familiar.
And then you do it again and again, and it becomes a bit easy. Do you know what I mean? And it's all easy.
It becomes second nature.
If you see what I mean, and it's just like everything, really.
The same thing that applies to a lot of things. Yeah.
If you like, if you want to become good at cooking, you know, keep, you know, practicing, learning, you know, and
trying new things
on the internet and learning, you know, and you'll get there.
You get there.
You know, you're, you know, as long as you're working on it, you know, an hour each day, even, you're gonna, you know, in time get there. You know? It's when you give up on it, you know, say, oh, I can't do that, you know, that's when it becomes a bit of a problem, if you see what I mean, you know, to yourself, you know, because you can do it as long as you don't give up.
Yeah.
Basically, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's that thing of anything you put your mind and your time and you invest your energy into, usually brings results. You know, if you over a prolonged period of time, if you stay consistent enough on whatever it is that you're dedicated to or you're passionate about, generally it brings some form of results in a positive way. You know. And for everyone has their own different success. You know, you shouldn't ever judge your success based on someone else's success. You know, everyone's story is slightly different. And just because what one person has achieved with what they're doing doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to achieve the same or more. You know, sometimes you might be an artist, but you might be making only maybe $10,000-$15,000 a month off your music in comparison to one of these big artists who's maybe making $100,000 a month off their music, if you see what I mean. But that should be even for me, like if I'm making 10-15 grand a month off my music, that would be fantastic, if you see what I mean, you know. But for some people that might not be enough. They'll be comparing that to say, oh, this big artist, this person, you know, doesn't get a huge amount more streams than I do, but they're making this amount of money, you know. And it's like, you know, it's comparison is the thief of all joy, I think, personally, you know. When you start to compare that's why today there's a big problem with social media and the young people. A lot of the younger people are finding themselves depressed and like anxious and low mood and all this type of shit because a lot of people end up comparing their life to someone else's highlight reel, essentially. Because you get people that go travelling or do certain things or whatever, and they'll only ever post pictures when they're doing something fantastic, something great. So every time they post a picture, people think that they're living this fantastic, wonderful, lavish, rich, wealthy lifestyle. Meanwhile, this is just, they're just only over posting when they, once or twice a year they do something quite, a bit different, a bit out the norm, and then you get people comparing themselves to this, thinking, oh, how can this person afford to travel and do all these things and yada yada yada, but I can't do it, and sometimes people start to compare their life to other people's lives, and then they become, like you said, envious, jealous, depressed, thinking that they are entitled to the same things as other people.
And that would only destroy your own life,
Yeah.
As soon as you start getting jealous, destroy your own, because hate does that too, do you know what I mean? You're only destroying yourself at the end of the day, even by being angry in a kind of way. Anger, will destroy you, just like pain does. Like pain destroys my day.
Yeah.
Like when it's raining out, that don't, or snowing, really, it don't bother me, but when I get pain, that destroys my day. Completely.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to celebrations, obviously everyone has their own belief systems and, like we said earlier, religions and spiritualities and different things, different cultural things that they kind of adhere to and they practice and they have within their communities or within their culture or within their country or however it works, if you see what I mean. Because a lot of the things that just a very small primary example that everyone probably knows anyway, but so I'll just make it because it's an easy example. But for Christmas here in the UK, people generally do like a traditional Christmas where they usually have a roast turkey, roast ham, roast potatoes, sausages wrapped in bacon, and a few other bits of lamb, and then the trimmings. That is a very British Christmas roast dinner. All the parsnips, the Brussels sprouts, the Yorkshire puddings, the gravy, the whole ensemble. But in other countries, yeah, they have different things that they eat. They don't eat the same shit as us.
Of course not. I mean, like Muslims, apparently, they're not allowed to eat meat, whatever. I can't remember.
Pork.
It's just good.
But that's what I'm saying. So like everyone's Christmas, it's.
Well, you can imagine us. We're allowed, like the British, they're allowed to eat what they want, meat-wise.
Well, not all British, because not all British people will eat pork, but yeah.
Oh, it confuses me a little bit, like the whole lot of it. To be honest with you. celebrations. So every moment is a celebration to me. And that's full stop.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess in a way, right, mate, it's kind of a good thing in a way, because even though me and you, we kind of live our lives like that, we kind of see every day as a blessing. You know, we're happy about every day, we celebrate every day, we're happy and glad to just be alive first and foremost, and everything else after that is a blessing. But at the same time, there are a lot of people out there that forget about these things, if you see what I mean, and they're not like us. So I think sometimes in a way, it's kind of good in a way, because it helps some people to actually just be able to relax and be happy for a day, if you see what I mean, to not have to think about work or anything else for the day, just have a day with their family, having a nice day, nice meal, nice playing games, having fun, communicating, having a laugh, maybe having a few drinks, you know, whatever else, bonding. And it's just, it reminds them to be happy. You get what I'm saying? It's not everyone out there is happy like me and you every single day. And I've actually encountered people, right, mate? And this might sound quite funny, right? But I really believe this to be true, right? Honestly, I swear. There's some people that I meet, right, that I feel that my happiness and my joy, and how happy and positive and joyful I am, I feel there's some people out there, mate, that it rubs them the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like, even like people that I work with sometimes, occasionally, I kind of get like that kind of vibe, if you see what I mean. Like, because I'm always so kind of like upbeat and so like kind of like joyous and quite positive and always kind of like happy, like saying, "Oh, come on,
But
guys!"
You're above everyone else.
Like, I'm the type of person that
You're above everyone else. Like me, I feel like.
But
you know,
I'm the type of person. I'm the type of person at work that I try to lift people's spirits. I'm like really I'll have a laugh with people. I'll be very polite and respectful, and you know, try to help them where I can, and just be a good work colleague, be professional. But sometimes, like,
be understanding, and you're on. You know, I think we're both the same kind of characters, aren't we?
But I feel sometimes, honestly, mate, for some people that irritates them, mate. It's almost like I don't know if it's them like being jealous or like envious of like
your skills.
Not even your skills, but like who you are as a person, just like naturally. It's like how are you judging me or criticizing me in a negative way for being a certain way as a person, and the certain way is not even anything bad. It's like I could understand, like, if I was some type of like, how are you gonna hate me for? How are you gonna be like, not even hate me, but how are you gonna be like irritated or rubbed the wrong way by me just because I'm happy? You get what I mean?
A lot of people do get jealous, you see. They don't like people.
And I think to me, that's all it can boil down to. Because like, how else could you be unhappy about someone being happy? To me, that doesn't even make sense.
Well, there is a quote saying like, "Never show your happiness